Vito, thank you so much for joining me today to discuss this work. I'm so pleased you could make it.
No problem. I was busy building a glass pavilion in Switzerland, but hey, video art is important too, I guess.
So, Centers is one of your earlier video works, and that received a lot of attention, especially from critics and art theorists.
Indeed.
How do you respond to someone like Rosalind Krauss and her using centers as an example in her argument from her famous essay, Video, the Aesthetics of Narcissism? She says you never disengage from yourself throughout the piece, and she claimed this was making video a narcissistic medium.
Centers does go beyond myself. I'm not just staring into myself through the camera. I'll say what I say when I produce the piece. The result, the TV image, turns the activity around, a pointing away from myself at an outside viewer. I end up widening my focus onto passing viewers. I'm looking straight out by looking straight in. So yeah, she's wrong.
So you align yourself more with William Kaisen's reading of the piece. He said in his essay, Live on Tape, Video, Liveness, and the Immediate, that you were engaging with the viewer just as you would on, say, a live television program.
Absolutely. I'm demanding attention and involving the viewer, just as I said earlier. There are no illusions. We're there together, and we know we're both there. It's an event, not just an old painting in a dusty museum. Television was a big deal back then, though. I have no clue what's going on anymore. What's net art? I mean, who the hell is Ryan Trey Cotton?
Yeah. So back on topic. Do you agree with Martha Rosler then when she said that this act of criticism was carried out itself through a technological medium, one whose potential for interactive and multi-sided communication ironically appeared boundless?
I would say yes.
Just yes?
Well, yeah. I mean, television and live video was and is a really interesting medium. It was a relatively new territory for artists. Seeing live television is a unique experience. It's artificial, yes, yet it's unedited, and failure is always lurking.
Were you trying to recreate this phenomenon then?
I was trying to comment on it. Centers was all about the producer and consumer. I was demanding something from the consumer, and inevitably some viewers would give me the attention I demanded.
If you were demanding something, could you explain why you were progressively becoming weaker and more strained as the video progressed? You start to grunt and move your arm up as it slips downward.
I was demanding a lot from the viewer, but I was also showing an image that was, in the end, frail and weak. Being human and maintaining a perfect image is essentially impossible. Much like television, a curated image and style is imperative for the success of a talk show or a news program. I was subverting this image. It becomes ridiculous and bizarre. It illustrates the impending failure I mentioned a moment ago. And shit, I was holding up my arm for over 20 minutes. I've been balding since I was 20. I've been aging terribly since the 3rd grade. Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, would you say this relates to other works from this time, like Seedbed?
Ah, good old Seedbed. Want me to recreate it? Freaks people out like you wouldn't believe.
We can hold off on that for now.
Nah, come on.
Let's concentrate on Centers for another minute or two before that, maybe. Centers requires audience participation, but it also seems to have a feminist subtext. That's why I bring up Seedbed. You seem to use yourself as a parody or a joke of the masculine male in both of these pieces.
Absolutely. The stereotypical male artist and the rest of it all were constructs that were being torn down in the 60s and 70s. This also tied so closely to the media itself. Television, like most other factors in our society, is dominated by male influence. I don't think I could examine just video without bringing in the topic of maleness and its futility.
Futility. That seems like an important word for this piece.
Come on, look at me here. I look ridiculous. Futility, or maybe failure is a better word. It's a great tool for the concepts I'm discussing. On first glance, these works may seem self-reflexive, but I think my body is just used for the illustration of concepts.
Well, I'd like to thank you for spending some time with me to discuss this work. It was a real honor.
Honestly, I don't remember making the piece. It was the early 70s, man. I have no idea what I was smoking or consuming. So, that's it. But I'm glad you could jog my memory.
Okay, yeah, cool. Thanks again.